So, there's this new law down in Louisiana that's swapping out that familiar vehicle inspection sticker for a digital QR code. On the surface, it sounds great, a modern, convenient fix. But what are we really trading away when a physical safety check gets turned into a simple digital payment? Let's get into it.
I mean, who isn't, right? We've all been there, that yearly trip to the mechanic, you're sitting around, waiting, all for that little colored sticker they put on your windshield. It's just a hassle. Kind of feels like an old-school process in a totally digital world.
And here comes the fix. A piece of legislation called House Bill 1085 basically says, hey, forget that trip to the shop. All you have to do now is pay a $6 fee online, and boom, they'll mail you a QR code. It's simple, it's efficient, and at first glance, it really does seem like a no-brainer.
Okay, so first, let's just lay it all out. What does the old system look like compared to this new one?
The shift itself is pretty clear, right? The process goes from a hands-on, physical inspection to a simple digital fee. The proof of compliance goes from a sticker on your windshield to a QR code. But look at that bottom row, the provider. It changes from your local mechanic to the state's Office of Motor Vehicles. And that little detail? Yeah, it turns out to be a really big deal.
But wait a second. Just $6 to replace an entire safety inspection? That seems almost too simple. So you have to ask, where did an idea like this even come from?
Well, it turns out this idea wasn't just cooked up in Louisiana out of thin air. The bill's structure is basically a copy-paste of what's called model legislation from a group called the American Legislative Exchange Council, or ALEC. You can think of ALEC as a kind of legislative idea factory, where corporations and lawmakers get together to write these bill blueprints that then get introduced in states all over the country.
And when you look at how this is built, you can totally see the thinking behind it. First, it's all about centralizing data with the state, pulling it away from private businesses like your local mechanic. Then it pushes for using digital IDs, like this QR code, to get rid of physical paperwork. And finally, it uses something called state preemption, which basically means the state's new digital rules can just override any local ones, creating one single system from the top down.
So this brings us to the heart of the matter. The big trade-off. We're getting all this digital convenience, sure, but what are we actually losing in this deal? Well, as it turns out, we're losing the entire reason the old system existed in the first place.
So here is the absolute kicker. For most cars, the physical inspection is just gone. It's being completely eliminated. No more certified mechanic getting under the hood, checking your brakes, your tires, your steering, your lights. That proactive safety net that was always there, it's just vanished.
I mean, this is a fundamental shift in how we even think about road safety. The old model was all about being proactive. A mechanic with a trained eye could spot a bald tire or a leaky brake line before it caused a disaster. This new model, it's completely reactive. It relies on the police to spot a problem after something has already failed on your car, or worse, after an accident has already happened.
And listen, this isn't just some theoretical risk. When South Carolina did something similar and got rid of its inspection program, traffic fatalities in the state shot up. We're talking by nearly 30% over the next decade. That number, that shows the real human cost of removing this kind of safety net.
This quote just says it all perfectly. The state is shifting its whole focus from making sure we have a brakes-checked highway to just making sure it has a fees-paid database. The priorities have been completely flipped upside down.
So if the state is giving up on these proactive safety checks, what's it getting in return? Because it's definitely getting something. And this is where the story pivots from what we, the drivers, are losing to what the state is gaining.
This new system creates the absolute perfect environment for automated license plate readers, or ALPRs. Here's how it works. These cameras, usually mounted on police cars, are constantly scanning thousands of license plates an hour. Those numbers are then instantly checked against that new centralized OMV database. And bam, any car that hasn't paid its fee or has an expired registration gets flagged immediately.
The difference here is just massive. Think about it. Before, a police officer had to literally get close enough to your car to physically see that your little sticker was expired. Now, a single patrol car can cruise through a whole shopping mall parking lot or down a highway and scan thousands of plates in minutes, day or night. It's creating this huge invisible digital dragnet. And this right here is the biggest, most absurd flaw in this whole setup. The system does not care if your brakes are about to fail, it only cares if you paid that $6 fee. So a car that's perfectly safe but is a day late on a payment, it becomes an instant target for law enforcement. Meanwhile, a truly dangerous vehicle with a paid-up QR code just drives right on by, completely invisible.
All right,
let's put all these pieces together. When you look at the economics, the impact on society, this huge shift in priorities, what is the real total cost of a law like this?
Well, for starters, just follow the money. Under the old system, all those inspection fees, they supported thousands of local mechanics and their small businesses. Now, poof, that revenue is just gone. Instead, that new $6 fee gets funneled directly to the state government. It's a straight-up transfer of money from Main Street to the state capitol.
But the real consequences go way beyond just money. This creates what you could call a safety gap, especially for folks who might struggle with maintenance costs and really needed that mandatory checkup to catch dangerous problems. It replaces education by a mechanic, where they tell you what needs fixing, with enforcement by a camera, which just leads to fines. And ultimately, it puts every single driver on a kind of digital leash, massively expanding the state's ability to watch all of us.
So I guess it all boils down to this one simple question. Is a little bit of convenience really worth a system that's designed to check your payment, but not your brakes?